Let's start this episode with one goal: to make your day better than it was 5 minutes ago. This is Champagne Smiles and Magical Miles, and I'm your host, Stephanie Parks. Let's get into it. So today I am going to take you back a year ago and walk you through what many people have asked me about over the last year. And it was like, Stephanie, what the heck are you doing? They noticed that my social media presence had picked up. They were like, what is this? My dad said, was it the Home Shopping Network? I honestly was curious. I had seen a little bit from people that were posting, and I'd shopped from people that were posting and didn't know anything about algorithms or how to grow followers or what any of that meant or what engagement meant. All I knew is that I had a story to tell. I wanted to be bold and put myself out there. And as chief growth officer over a large company, I needed to understand how social media worked. So that started me on this curiosity journey. And if you guys know me, I love understanding puzzles and figuring things out and thinking about strategy. So I honestly was like, I'm curious. Let's jump in and figure this out. I'm always trying to grow and develop new skills. And as a middle-aged woman, we didn't even have computers or internet when I was in high school. That's giving my age away a little bit, but I needed to understand this. And it was my responsibility to understand it with the position I had. So you can hire great social media managers and amazing graphic designers, but you still need to understand what it is that you're trying to do from marketing and social media. So here we are. What I didn't expect is that this would become something that was a fun, creative outlet for me. So in the last year, I have grown from not having any presence at all on YouTube or on TikTok, but having a very small following of close friends and family by design on Instagram and Facebook. And Facebook was our primary personal social media platform, mostly to share what was going on with the family for extended friends and family who I never get to see. And many of you, on a fun fact, have reached out over the past year and have been very supportive. And I really appreciate that. So people are like, what are you doing? Do you have time for this? And we all have hobbies. As many of you know, I love to run. Running has become a physical outlet, but also a mental outlet for me to think and listen to other people's podcasts and to really brainstorm about what I want to do next. And so this journey has become a true hobby for me. So of all the things I've done, I actually started a podcast, which is this, Champagne Smiles and Magical Miles. It brings me a lot of joy. I plan to expand into having many different guests on. I have had all three of my daughters at some point in the last year on. I also need to be more consistent, which is my words matter is consistency. I joke around and say I am absolutely the worst influencer ever because I am inconsistent. And so a goal of mine coming up over the next year was consistency. I have understood and know that I need to create a calendar. I need to have content that's pre-planned. I know this. I do this professionally with my team. So the same thing. I have leaned on my young friends and family, nieces and daughters to help me over the last year. It's definitely been fun to learn from them as well, but I want to be consistent. I want to be there for you. I want to know what you want to learn about and what you enjoy. So today it is really about just rolling back what is going on. You have to give up caring what people think about you if you're going to be open on social media. And what I've found is people are really supportive. People are behind the scenes cheering you on. I have received so many positive comments and text messages and DMs throughout the last year supporting what I'm doing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I am super grateful. And I've gone through a plethora of, why am I doing this? Am I wasting time? So one is the podcast is leaving a legacy for my daughters. They can go back and share it with my great-grandchildren, hopefully. Obviously, the platforms will change by then. So the podcast is part of telling the story. And two, I have always wanted to be an mentor, an influence, a leader, a source for other people that are trying to build confidence, trying to build their careers, trying to figure out who they are. I think building a supportive community, sharing what we know. I hear this whole gatekeeper thing, whatever. There's plenty out there for everyone. So I want to share what I've learned. Obviously, this is a hobby. Through shared support and groups, I've met a lot of women who are stay-at-home moms trying to hustle, trying to make some money. And this is their primary source of income. And they're amazing. They're much more consistent than I am. They're helpful. And it is not a negative or competitive group. They are supportive of one another. And anything that is negative or that they're challenged with, they can go to many, many different groups, thousands of people across the world, actually, and ask for help, support. Hey, I just had this negative comment. What do I do about it? Or I've applied to X number of jobs and I've gotten turned down. What can I do? Or who should I reach out to? I thought it'd be interesting just to share as I reflect on the last year, what I've learned with the audience. And maybe this becomes a series. I want to be open and share as much as I can with you. Sip of the week is consistency. It's a little ironic because I am the worst at being consistent, but here is what I know. Imperfect consistency compounds. So showing up at all is better than not showing up. And I want to make that a goal. And I'm a very goal-driven individual that I think we all should set bars higher than what we can achieve. One thing that I also found is that people would ask me, what supplements do you take? Tell me everything you know about Disney. Where did you get that outfit? And I didn't have a platform or a way. I would just like, oh, hang on, let me look it up or let me send you something. What I've done now is between my relationships with different platforms, I have a way of sharing with you. Here are my supplements. Here are things I take to Disney with me. Here are some of the outfits. So fun, really. Interesting fact is that what I chose to wear tonight is completely gifted and my feet are a little cold. So I'm going to put on these socks too. These are the socks I didn't know I needed. These were also gifted. And the goals tonight is to share with you some of the tips and tricks, but also honestly, give a shout out to some of the brands that trusted me. So aren't these super cute? These are double sole and they are recycled. They are very comfortable. I didn't even know that I liked the length. I usually just wear ankles, but I love these. They also come in many different styles, but these were gifted to me and there were socks I didn't know I needed. Obviously, you guys have seen me talk a lot about Chicwish. I just learned today, Chicwish, that it's not Chicwish, which I wanted it to be. But Chicwish has been very generous in gifting me. I typically do not wear long skirts. I typically wear short skirts, but I have fallen in love with the quality and their styles. I get so many compliments. So they are actually helping me evolve my style and fashion into appreciating some of these classy styles that they have. I appreciate that. When they first reached out to me about a gifted collab, they chose me, they reached out to me, and then they were like, Stephanie, we'd really rather you do it like this. I'm like, well, I'm not trying to look like everyone else on a certain platform. And they said, we know what works and that's what we want. So I said, okay, teach me. So I've learned so much. I've learned about voiceover. I've learned about lighting. I've learned about, backgrounds, and I've learned that authenticity wins. Sometimes I'll get feedback, and I've talked a lot about my mom or my sister saying, we like this better than that. Brands will say we like this better than that. And I'll just say, always have an open mind and be open to learning, because I think any of us who've started and then a year later, and I'm sure a year from now, I'll have learned a lot more. But I feel like it's a journey, and I feel like we get better and better if we just listen to other people and try to learn from their experience. So tools that I use that actually save me time and money. For podcasting, I typically use Riverside. I think that is a go-to for most. I am still learning about all of what it has to offer. But after as many episodes as we are in, I think this is 16, I have learned a lot. And I plan when we do the guests that we will record on that platform. Right now, I typically record off the platform and then edit in the platform, but I do plan over the next few episodes to record in the platform. Professionally, I have recorded inside the platform and you could edit anything. It has a way to edit and remove awkward pauses, awkward words, correct words, enhance the sound. So I was going to record today with a mic. I know a lot of podcasters and social media influencers use mics. I tried the mic. I thought it had too much noise, probably because I move around a lot. So I chose to just go with the sound, fun fact, on my phone. And then I will take it into Riverside, clean it up, and make it sound better. So for video editing, I think this is a go-to standard as well. I use CapCut. I have tried others, but CapCut is straightforward. There's a teleprompter feature that I like, especially for my talking head where I'm close up. I can read the teleprompter if I need it. So CapCut and Riverside. I occasionally use Canva. I have tried many different AI tools, and that is a warning for you. So if you're new at this and you think, oh, that looks really cool, know what you're getting into, because if it's an AI tool that looks very AI, your audience may not like it because it's not going to feel really authentic. It's not going to be really you. And if they are following you for you, they need to feel like it's Stephanie and it's my personality, it's my face, and it's not some fake generated voice and fake generated picture. I tried some of that, and unfortunately you get stuck in all of these subscriptions and you're spending a lot of money. So just heads up, and it's very difficult to cancel some of them. I'm still trying to track down some of the ones I subscribed to early on that keep billing me, and it's very difficult to cancel. So just be careful on some of those newer, unknown AI tools. And honestly, you don't need them. The output's not worth paying a fee for it. I want to call out that community, people, that's what this is about. It's about making connections with humans and hopefully offering them, just like this today, offering them something that is meaningful. And I actually appreciate when I see someone and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I could get that on Amazon. Or, oh my gosh, that is a new brand that I wouldn't even know existed. And that's been part of what's fun. I enjoy, obviously, shopping. I enjoy learning about new things. I enjoy supporting small brands. What you see around me here are some of, not all, but some of the brands that I was able to just gather up this evening so that I could share with you some of the things that I've learned and some of the brands that I have been. Some of these are paid partnership, but majority are gifts. And that's how it starts. You actually have brands trust you and want to gift you an item. And some, I will say, I've learned about over committing for gifted, and there have been a couple of cases where I've returned the item because I wasn't going to put something out there to my community, to my trusted followers that I didn't believe in. And sometimes you feel like you need to because a brand trusted you, and then you're like, but it's not something I would use, or I would feed my family, or I wouldn't wear, or I wouldn't do my face. And you try it and you don't know until you try it, and you try it and you're like, I don't feel right about publicly promoting something I don't believe in. So I have returned a few items, and then a few of the gifted items, there were no obligation. And then I feel bad because I feel like I should have and didn't. So I'm going to try to go back and make up for some of that over the next few months of gifted items that I don't feel like I gave enough recognition to because they're part of my daily life now. And I am appreciative of brands who have gifted me that I'm actually using every day that I didn't know about until they sent me a gift. So that's been really fun. This Promix, which I have not posted about yet, this protein puff bar birthday cake, Madeline loves so much that I've ordered it twice since. So sometimes they gift it and then you become a client. Promix definitely is one. The daily fiber, I can never get enough fiber. So this Midi Health I also haven't talked about, but these are gummies. You guys know how I don't want to swallow so many capsules. Sometimes I am on calls and I'll know that I haven't had enough fiber and I'll just pop one of these in. So the Midi Health is great. And then many times after a run, because it's early in the morning, I'm training for Chicago, as most of you know, Naked Nutrition gifted me a choice of proteins. And for the first time I saw one that was coffee. So it's a latte. After a run in the morning, I get home and I'm like, drink water. I need protein. I put 2 scoops of this naked protein, 140 calories, and let's see how much protein in here, 20 grams of protein. It really helps for that recovery, that first really critical 30, 45 minutes after a hard run. And especially since I'm running at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, I want my coffee, but I also need my protein. So this has been amazing. This isn't meant to be an advertisement, but I want to recognize some of the brands that I do really appreciate that I have not said anything about. And 2, I want to educate whoever's listening out there. If you're wanting to be a creator, if you're wanting to understand what the heck's going on with Stephanie, I hope that this episode resonates on some level. Be open, be authentic, don't get taken. Sometimes they put a contract in front of you, and if you aren't thinking about it and you're like, oh, I just signed up and I didn't realize it. I got $60 worth of product and I signed up to post 6 times. I don't think my audience even wants to be posting 6 times about the same thing within a few days or a month or whatever. So just be careful. Read the small print. Know what you're signing up for. Typically, you can just say, I don't believe in the item. I need to return it. Or I can't say good things about it. I want to return it. Or maybe you made a mistake and then you are obligated. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay. So supportive friends and family is number 1. And then the surprise for me was supportive strangers and the group of community that you could surround yourself. So both of those matter, and it's super interesting and fun. It is a time commitment. For me, it is definitely a hobby. A hobby does take time, and it takes time from other things that you could be doing. I am trying to run my first Abbott World Major Marathon soon. And I'm also trying to improve my golf game. And I'm also trying to be a mom. There's only so much free time when you're an executive and you travel a lot. You just have to maximize your time. So that's why I'm running at 5:30 in the morning. I'm not playing as much golf as I'd like to. And I cram a lot of content creation into a weekend. And sometimes I ask family and friends to help me edit and help me with the posting. Eventually, if I decide to continue down this path, I will need to hire someone. I went from 315 followers on Instagram to I'm at 31,000 and some change in a year. And people are like, how did you do that? I made a lot of friends, other people trying to do the same thing. There's a lot of it. I will, follow you if you'll follow me. That is a big piece of it. Not getting sucked into paying for fake followers. It just hurts your engagement, hurts everything. Be careful about what you're signing up for. There are ways that you can get legitimate followers and be like a ghost spot on certain things, but just be really careful because it doesn't help you to get fake bot followers. They won't tell you that. New accounts that have like 1 follower, which is terrible. And you're like, okay, this is never going to be someone who's loyal or wants to engage or who is interested in what I have to say or the brands I'm representing. If they say they're marketing, make sure that they are marketing you from a social media perspective, from a being seen perspective, but not from, we're going to give you a bunch of fake followers, because then you have to clean all that up and it just costs you money. And most of the time their accounts get deactivated. So you'll see thousands of fake followers and thousands of fake followers fall off. So not good. Don't do it. Okay. I have been successful in a lot of gifted products. The Flaunt, I didn't even know existed. This is their bag that I haven't posted about yet, but it's a brand that a lot of famous people use. I found and ordered their phone case. I love the phone case. It has a bracelet chain. It has a cute little ring. It has the cutest little MagSafe charger. It's square. I was worried. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like a square one. I dropped it. It didn't break. Interesting that they gifted me this bag, which I love. It's super cute, but I ended up using and buying the case and love it. I could keep going and going on this. Research the brand before you accept it and know if the brand is legitimate and know if the brand is something that would resonate with your followers. And then you move into paid work. I'm careful on saying this because you need to know your value at where you are at your competency levels, and don't underprice yourself, but don't overprice yourself. I'm still learning. I will say that I've spent a lot more than I've made, but it is fun when someone recognizes your efforts, likes what you're doing, and is willing to compensate you for that. That's really when it gets fun. There will be dry spells. Sometimes I'll spend half a day on Saturday just applying to things and then never hear anything back. There are platforms for that. I will share with you that originally I got denied by LTK. I got denied by ShopMy. I got denied by Impact. I got denied by Aspire. Those are some bigger platforms. I started with a platform called Parallel, which helped me start learning how to do it, gave me a little confidence. Social Cat also started giving me some smaller deals. There's one called Hummingbirds that just came across that I've done some work with, like the 8 beer and with Cravings of Chrissy. ShopMy is super fun. I love when I log in. Sometimes I'll log into LTK and I get surprised that someone looked at my post and actually purchased something, which it's more about like, oh, someone actually liked what I was wearing, what I was saying. So there's a satisfaction in that. For those of you trying to get in, know that if you do your work on the smaller platforms, and don't forget them, I still log in and check in on the smaller platforms. And there are still some really great opportunities and some small brands that I'm really excited to work with. I have become choosier, but I'm still small. I'm still learning. I'm still micro. I'm not a macro, but I like that. I think it's fun to be able to be choosy and be able to say, I will work with you. I won't work with you. I won't accept these terms. So watch out here. Oh, hey, do you want to be an affiliate? Well, you need to buy my product and then we'll give you commission if you bring any deals in. So be careful because typically those don't bring in much. Typically they're just trying to get you to buy the product. What recently I found, so now I know about that, the affiliate where you buy something, unless it's something you're going to buy anyway, then be careful. The other side of that is that I've had brands reach out to me on platforms, on social media, DMs. We really like what we see. We want to gift you fill in the blank. 3 pieces of our jewelry when we gift you one of our products. And then you go through the process of going on and, oh wait, they're shipping. And the shipping could be quite a bit. Be careful because some of those I believe are doing it just to sell their products again. And it's to get free advertising, free marketing. So just buyer beware. If they're asking you to do work and they're charging you, I would ask questions. Also, be careful about checking reviews about the brand, asking people that you know within the community if they've worked with a certain brand. I have found that there are some unrealistic expectations about the amount of time that you should spend editing or revising. Usually there should be a scope of how many revisions that you do. Trust me, time is money for me and every minute counts. It's time I could be spending with our families. So just be careful. But if you're curious about any good or bad collaborations, you can DM me and I will be honest with you. I won't speak negatively, but I will definitely share with you my experience. Okay. The word is consistency. I have spent a career understanding how words shape our reality, and consistency is complicated. I'll say it honestly that I will show up a lot and then I won't show up at all. We're talking about this journey I've been on this creator piece of it. But because it's a hobby, I'm allowed to do that. And anytime I choose to put into this, it's because it's a choice. I want to be here. I want to be here consistently. But sometimes I choose life, and sometimes life chooses me. So I want the same for you. Okay. So your challenge this week: did someone take a chance on you? A brand, a friend, a colleague, a stranger? Find them and thank them. That kind of support deserves acknowledgement. So I am going to try publicly to thank as many of the brands that trusted me as possible. I am going to try to find the ones that I actually use and love and share it with my audience. And PMD was a fun one because I did a gifted collab with the SMAS, the massager for my aging neck. But then they also reached out to me with a paid collab. Then I ended up buying and investing in some products. And I haven't even tried it yet, but I'm looking forward to trying some of it. This KT by Knix, it was a Target collab paid. And then they reached out to me for a second one that I'm about to record. So I actually really am excited about the product here. I can't wait to share it with my audience. DIBS has been super fun. I didn't even know, but my daughters told me, let's see how this looks. My daughters told me that this is like all the rage on TikTok and that it's a popular brand, and they gifted me a product. And I love this tube. When I travel, I'm able to use it all over my face, obviously. Anyway, just a few little things that I like sharing with you guys, and hopefully you will appreciate hearing about the brands too. All right, confidence corner. I love talking about confidence. Everything I just told you about the red flags, walking away, saying no, returning gifted items that you can't stand behind, turning down offers that don't fit. This is a practice in confidence. Every single one of those decisions required me to trust myself over the pressure to say yes, over the fear of missing out, over the desire to be liked and chosen and included. And I think that's something we're all looking for is validation. And we have to be strong and be confident to stop and say no when we know that it doesn't fit. Your integrity is more important. Get Riverside, get comfortable with CapCut. Don't pay for AI image generation. Work hard and get on platforms that are respected. Get your approval on LTK. Get on ShopMy. I would be more than happy to send you a referral link and learn to say no, vet brands, and keep your integrity. Followers are not the milestone. It's the person that you are and what you're sharing. It doesn't matter whether it's 315 or 32,000. It's just a number. My goal is obviously to get much more than where I am now, but it's been a fun journey. I am terrible on TikTok, so I'm working on that one. And YouTube is an interesting one as well. You have to learn all your different platforms and know where you fit and know which content belongs where, which I am still trying to learn. But keep going. It's a rolling thunder of learning and education, and have fun with it. And for those of you that are wanting to make it a career, really, it was about learning. It was about, let's do a podcast. Let's talk about things that are important to me. And I have so much to say. That's what Kyle tells me. He goes, you have so much to share and so much to say. And people theoretically want to listen and hear it. I love sharing. I recorded this song, which was fun. My daughters cringed a lot. They cringe sometimes anyway about things mom does. But I think generally speaking, they're proud of me. The song was meant to be satirical. So I had a whole conversation about satire. I travel a lot. So Gate C17, actually everything in the song had happened to me at some point in my traveling. So I thought it would be funny to talk about it. And I may have another song in me. I did obviously not sing it. I used some help, but I wrote it and produced it. That was a fun, interesting learning journey. Whatever you're doing, just keep going. Be confident and just know that you can do hard things and you can learn from it and grow from it. I always like to talk about Maddie Jo. So proud of her starting her cross country. It was something very difficult that she didn't want to do. And she finished her first race. That's a huge win. Even though she's ran 5Ks, she's ran them with mom and dad. She's ran them at Disney. We run when she wants to run. We stop and take pictures of characters when we want to. It's completely different than you're out there in a race with your peer group in the heat of Texas. And she did it. And she crushed it. I'm so proud of her. And she's getting up early and running every morning with her team. Keep going when it's hard. She said, Mommy, you tell me good things. My birthday week, and I got a gift from her that was 15 things I love about you. And one of it was, Mommy, you give me good advice. And I said, what does that mean? And she says, well, this week you told me if I didn't feel prepared to support my team and then tell my coach, I don't feel ready for this race. And she raced and she finished it. So I love the fact that she said, you give good advice, Mommy. She's 11 and I love who she's becoming. So whatever you're building, keep going. Don't give up, even when it's hard, even when there's crickets, even when you feel like you're rejected all the time. It takes 1,000 no's to get to your first yes, or you could get 10 yeses in a week. Just keep trying. So thank you for being here for this episode of Champagne Smiles and Magical Miles. I absolutely love the podcast. One of my favorite things about the journey this year has been sharing openly with you, authentically with you. And I hope it just gets better and better. Share it with your friends. If you're building something in this space, being a creator, learning about social media, DM me. I read everything and I'd love to share with you what I know. And I'd love to hear your experiences, and maybe I can include some of you on the podcast as well. Share it with someone who's starting out that you think actually might be going through being stages or wherever they are. And maybe it's not even about creator and social media. Maybe it's something else, but I love supporting other people in wherever they are on their life's journeys. Tag me at Stephanie in the Parks on any platform. Look for me. TikTok, I'm Stephanie Parks 12. Everything else, I'm Stephanie in the Parks. Until next time, book the trip, read the book, sign up for the race, pop the champagne, and do whatever it is that makes you feel alive and like yourself. Love, hugs, kisses. It's Maddie Jo time. Cheers.